Chad, first of all, amazing job on this film. This is the 9th Sniper film and your 6th time appearing in the franchise. You're reprising your role as Brandon Beckett for the Sniper series. Tell us a little bit about Brandon and how we've seen the character progress in this film from the last installment.
We are knocking on the door of double digits, and I couldn't be more happy about that. So this is the 9th in the franchise, over a couple of decades. So, Sniper Rogue Mission coming out August 16th here in the States, Blu-ray, DVD, and digital, and everything else too. But what a ride. Brandon Beckett, from, baby-faced soldier doing the infantry thing with the Marines to now, going rogue around the world, taking out, the bad guys that need taken out with his new friends. Ryan Robbins, Agent Zero, Lady Death, played by Sayaka Akamoto. The Colonel is back with us, Dennis Haysbert. He's a fantastic actor. We had such a good time meeting up with him. And we've added a character named Intelligence Pete to the team, who is Josh Brenner. And he's going to have people cracking up in this movie. He is fantastic. I feel bad for our editor because he gave us so much pure comedic genius that there's no possible way that they could have used it all. Sadly, I'm sure a lot of it had to end up in the cutting room floor, but you could probably make a whole movie about Intelligence Pete with the amazing zingers he gave us in this movie.
It's so funny. I mean, we'll get to that later because I have a question about that, but what did you want to bring to the role of Brandon this time around that wasn't on the page?
I think that Oliver Thompson, who's our wonderful writer, director, producer on this, he wrote an amazing script. He gave Brandon a whole new journey. He sat him down at a desk at the CIA. Spoiler alert, it didn't go well because Brandon's not meant to be, with a Windsor knot in a suit, taking orders from people and stapling papers and filing, reports. So, he gets the itch and he scratches it and he goes off book. And, he's going to basically turn in his badge. So it didn't work out, all that well. But I love that he gave us that journey. And it just kind of lays the foundation for the team that we're building with all these characters together. So it's fun. Brandon gets back to doing what he's doing. He ditches the suit for the long gun. And we set out to try and make the world right again.
Now, I love the tone of this movie. Oliver Thompson, who wrote the last film, makes his second directorial debut with this film, which is vastly different than his first film, which is a comedy called Welcome to Happiness. Can you talk to me a little bit about working with him as a collaborator? And he also did the music for this film, if I'm not mistaken, which was brilliant.
The music alone is a standout on this film. It's something like you haven't ever seen from us. And I mean, you talk about multi-hyphenates in this industry, and I've already listed writer, director, producer for Oliver Thompson, which is a lot, but then he does all the score, he does the music and the score and everything else because he's incredibly musically talented on top of it. So, next thing you know, he's going to be the lead actor in this at this point. So, and I think he's talented enough to pull it off. But I love that you caught that because he had such a vision for this movie. It's very stylistic. And sometimes you feel like you're watching an old Sergio Leone Western film. Sometimes you're watching, an old samurai film. Sometimes, it's like, is this from Tarantino? With the way that he blends the music with the shots and everything else. So he had an unbelievable vision for this movie. I think it makes for pure entertainment, across even just dialogue scenes. And fight scenes and everything else throughout. So I think audiences are really going to sit back and find out that this is the best popcorn experience they've had with one of our movies in a long time, maybe ever.
Yeah, you hit it right on the head. There's that alley scene where the music builds and you see how important music is in a scene right then and there. By the way, that action in that scene too is phenomenal, which we'll talk about in a second. But what did his directing style add to Sniper Rogue Mission this time around?
Oliver is very collaborative. We've always had wonderful conversations. What's nice is, I've been around the block on these movies, and so they were always, he's always very, very encouraging to come and have a conversation with him. It's like, this character better, than I do. I would love your feedback. I'd love to have a conversation about sort of stuff. So he has a very collaborative style. Mixed with a very, very specific vision. And I think that just makes, that's a complete package for a director. And it's really wonderful to work with Oliver and to see the direction he's taking this, and they've talked about it before. It's kind of like it's a mini trilogy that was their vision, a mini trilogy within the franchise. So a reboot of sorts, taking things in a brand new direction, where you're all getting on planes pretty soon to go and make Sniper 10. Oliver again directing, writing, producing. So I can't, I've read the script. It's incredible. It's going to be fantastic and carrying on what he's already kind of built this little universe here. It's like the Marvel's got their 20 whatever films to build their universe. And we've got our little 2 so far and a third coming soon to build our little Sniper universe within a universe.
I mean, it feels a little bit like what they did with the Fast and the Furious franchise, where they almost rebooted within the own franchise itself. Now, Ryan Robbins also returns to the franchise from the last Sniper film. Ryan plays the great character Zero. I love the relationship between him and Brandon. How do we see the relationship progress in this film?
We have so much more buddy cop stuff with Brandon and Zero, Ryan Robbins and my character. It is a lot of fun because we really just open it up. We get to know about each other's, personal lives, extensions of that. At a certain point in this movie, when we're up against a rock and a hard place, I end up meeting Zero's ex-wife and her new husband and having dinner with them, which lends itself to a lot of hilarity, as you can imagine. So forging that bond, it's kind of like he is blunt, he's hammer, I'm the nail. Right. I just shoot the nail from far away, but he's up close and personal, as you'll see in some of the fight scenes in this movie. He's a bulldog. And the elevator scene he does with the fight in the elevator, fighting a phone booth that Zero has with one of the thugs that we take out is unbelievable. So testament to him, our stunt coordinators, Hits International, and of course, all credit to Oliver Thompson for finding an amazing way to film that.
Yeah, that was a fantastic action sequence. Speaking of action, this is one of the things I absolutely love about the film is this high level, intense action. Like that alley scene with Lady Death, played by Sayaka Akimoto. Sayaka Akimoto. Can you talk to me about the preparation that goes into fight scenes for this film?
Yeah, for the last 2 films, Sniper Assassins and for this current one, Sniper Rogue Mission, we work with an amazing team called Hits International, and we've been really lucky to have them because they do high level stuff like Warrior, Halo, you name it. And so we're so lucky to have them coordinating these fights for us. So when we're not filming in front of the camera, all the actors are off doing the fight choreography training. We're rehearsing, we're learning these dance moves. They are complicated, they're complex. There's a lot going on. They're very busy and they want to push the envelope. We have wonderful stunt doubles to work with, but of course, me, Sayaka, Ryan, we'd rather not use the stunt doubles. We'd rather do it ourselves. It's harder,
I love that.
But that's the kind of actors that we're all bringing to the table. Is we'd rather do it ourselves. It makes for a better film. It's more entertaining when you don't have to cut away from faces. But we did have incredibly talented stunt doubles, and for some of the stuff, I was happy to have them. But in the meantime, we try to do as much of it as we can. And so they worked us. They drilled us every single day that we weren't on the clock on set. We were off set, working this choreography as much as we can to get it as dialed in as we can. And, we're ready for John Wick. Bring it, John Wick. We feel pretty confident at this point that we could take John Wick.
Nice. Now, one thing I don't want to get lost in this at all is that this movie is a lot of fun. There's a lot of fun comedy elements to this film, especially with Zero and Intelligence Pete, played by Josh Brenner. I have to ask you, though, Sunkist or Fanta?
I haven't had a soda in 15 years, but I just think Fanta is more fun to say. So I'm going to go with Fanta. I forgive me. Is Fanta more of a bottom shelf soda pop offering and Sunkist is more premium? I'm not really sure. But if it is, I'll go for the underdog.
I'm not a soda guy myself. I don't really drink soda often either, but I remember the old Fanta commercials, but I thought that scene was hilarious. And then for anyone that's watching, there is a post-credit scene that's a lot of fun too, with everybody at the end there too.
The Intelligence Pete character is fantastic. Jocelyn Houdon played she has so many scenes with Josh Brenner's Intelligence Pete, and they just hit it off. And I won't say much about it other than puzzles.
Yes, absolutely. Now, this film has a lot of action, but a ton of fun. Did that translate behind the camera as well?
You couldn't meet a better group of cast and crew. I mean, we really have fun offset, onset. We make sure we're ready to do what we need to do for the day, but everyone is lighthearted. Everybody is happy, making these action movies together and collaborating in that way. So a great group of people. We filmed in Winnipeg, right, up in Canada, and we had some amazing local talent come in for, as actor Paul plays one of the heavy, the maybe bad guys, dubious bad guys. David McGinnis was somebody that I had a big fight with when he played one of the bad guys there. And on and on and on it went. So really, really fantastic group of people. We did have a lot of fun offset as well. There was a local microbrewery around the block from where most of us were staying. So every Saturday after we'd wrap, on a long, hard week, we'd all just meet up and get some food and have a beer and just celebrate and laugh and bond. And it was a really wonderful experience. And I think that's going to come through in the film.
Yeah. And I was just going to say the cast chemistry, it kind of jumps out at you when you watch the film. You, Ryan, Sayaka, Josh, Jocelyn Houdin, who plays Mary Jane, you guys have great chemistry. And you talked a little bit about building that chemistry, but talk to me a little bit about them as just co-workers and what they brought to the set.
Oh man, each and every single one of them was their own unique personalities, but we had the best chats. We had the best conversations, Jocelyn Houdin loves to play with switchblades and nunchucks. So she was always kind of working on her fun stuff. If you go to her Instagram, you'll see that she's becoming more like Bruce Lee every day, which is impressive as heck. Sayaka is very, very wonderful, to be there. And she's such a gamer. The choreography she has to pull off for these films is not easy. So it's right. She really invests and really focuses into that, but she's just such a sweet woman. And of course, Ryan is fantastic. He's a vet in this industry. He's been in more projects than I can possibly remember, but he's a heck of a nice guy, and you look at him and you see this kind of a bulldog of a man, but couldn't be more of a sweetheart, which I think fits the Canadian stereotype right. for the people and their actors. And then of course, Josh Brenner is he's just a barrel of monkeys, man. He's hilarious, deadpan, dry, sarcastic, very witty, very, very funny. And I love what he brings to this character, but he was a joy to talk to off camera as well.
Incredible. Now you've played Brandon Beckett 6 times now. What do you think you've learned about yourself through playing Brandon?
What have I learned about myself through playing Brandon Beckett? That's a great question. I love to play the pretend soldier stuff. I really do. I think it's such a blessing. I had so many influences growing up, from G.I. Joe and action figures and He-Man to Thundercats to, Tango and Cash and Stallone movies and Schwarzenegger movies and everything in between, Chuck Norris, you name it. So I love the chance to play in this world, play in this universe. I'm no Arnie, but I love to, represent soldiers, my family, a lot of, former and current servicemen and women as well, and in law enforcement. So it's something that's kind of in my bones and my DNA. So I love to be able to play it on camera. But you also learn very quickly to have a lot of respect for what the real soldiers in the world do. And while I'm just doing it playing pretend, what they have to go through to get there, especially at the highest level, is unbelievable. And that's why, they're elite. Most people couldn't do that, hack that, hang with that sort of stuff and bring those skill sets to it and do what it takes on a mental and physical level. So, what I've learned is to be humble, because while I do get to have the glory of being on camera, faking my way through this, right. I'm under no illusion that I could not do this so well in real life. So it does keep you humble in that way. And I think that's always been a really interesting thing to keep in the back of my mind.
I know that with a movie and a franchise like this comes training. How proficient are you at long range shooting at this point?
That's a great question. I wouldn't say that I'm very proficient at all. I try to do my due diligence. I try to work tactical combat stuff. I try to get to the gun range. I try to be as familiar with this sort of stuff as I can. But the long range shooting is a whole different animal. And, you know, I was talking to someone the other day, and it's just, people don't know that to get through sniper school, they say it's harder to do that than to get through Ranger school or Navy SEAL school or anything else. It's that difficult. It's that complicated. There's so many factors that go into it, between the field craft and the calculations and the math and the arithmetic, but also the physicality, the mental ability to stay motionless for 7 days. You know, or to hike somewhere by yourself with a, 30-pound long gun strapped to your back, for 50 miles in the dark, and I've heard all these stories, and it's absolutely incredible. It's such a mental, physical combination that these soldiers have to pull off their feats. And that's why they're so rare. They're so elite. They're so unique. I'm not even going to pretend that I could hold a candle to what these people can pull off, because it's just a whole different animal.
Well, Chad, look, I absolutely enjoyed Sniper Rogue Mission. It was a lot of fun, ton of comedy, ton of action, amazing job. It comes out August 16th on digital, Blu-ray, and DVD. Thank you so much for joining. By the way, last question I do have for you. I just got a PS5. I know you're the voice in Call of Duty Modern Warfare. I need some video game recommendations.
Where is this? Sorry, I'm pointing the wrong way. Yeah, there it is. Warzone, baby. Listen, you're coming to the wrong guy. I play Alex in Call of Duty, but trust me, when it comes to actually playing the game itself, on my best day, I'm mediocre and I'm getting smoked by 12-year-olds. So you don't want advice from me. I basically have residency in the gulag.
There you go. There you go. Well, look, man, fantastic job on the film. Congratulations. I can't wait for everyone to see it. Thank you so much for your time, Chad.
Joe, thanks very much. Have a great day.